Faith is what gives strength to steps that feel uncertain. It is the belief that even when the path ahead is hidden, there is still a way forward waiting to be discovered. Without faith, the dreamer may hesitate, but with faith, every step becomes lighter, every trial becomes bearable, and every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. Faith allows the heart to see possibilities where the eyes may see only obstacles, and it is this vision of hope that carries the dreamer through difficult seasons. Faith is not about waiting for everything to be perfect before moving. It is about trusting that progress can begin right where the dreamer stands. Many wait for the ideal time, the ideal moment, or the ideal conditions, but those moments rarely arrive. Faith teaches that movement must begin now, even with uncertainty, even with limited resources, because once action starts, the path begins to reveal itself in ways that standing still never could. Faith also shapes the mindset of the dreamer. Instead of focusing on what is missing, faith redirects attention to what is possible. A dreamer guided by faith looks at challenges and sees stepping stones, not barriers. They see setbacks as redirections, not failures. This perspective transforms the journey, making the dreamer resilient against disappointment and determined to keep pressing forward regardless of circumstance. Through faith, the dreamer learns patience. Some results come quickly, but the greatest rewards often require waiting. Waiting is not inactivity. It is preparation, it is trust, it is holding steady while believing that unseen progress is still happening. Faith allows the dreamer to wait without despair, to hold on without losing hope, and to continue walking even when the destination still feels far away. Faith builds courage, for it pushes the dreamer to step into the unknown without fear controlling the heart. Fear whispers that the journey is too dangerous, too uncertain, too great a risk. Faith answers with confidence, reminding the dreamer that strength does not come from knowing every detail of the path, but from trusting that the steps taken with sincerity will not be wasted. This courage is what allows the dreamer to move where others remain frozen. Faith also sustains effort when visible results are small. It reminds the dreamer that every act of discipline, every effort, every sacrifice is adding up, even if the outcome cannot yet be seen. It teaches that unseen progress is still progress, and that consistency rooted in faith always leads to growth. Faith keeps the dreamer steady when others would give up, because it connects effort to a greater purpose beyond immediate gratification. When the dreamer holds faith, they are able to stand strong even in storms. Life brings seasons of hardship where everything seems uncertain and the way forward feels blocked. In these moments, it is faith that anchors the heart, that whispers of light even in the darkest night. It keeps the dreamer from sinking into despair and lifts their gaze to the horizon, reminding them that no storm lasts forever. Faith is also the source of gratitude. It teaches the dreamer to value each small blessing along the way, to appreciate progress no matter how little, and to find joy in the process rather than only in the outcome. Gratitude fuels the heart, making the journey lighter, and prevents bitterness from taking root when results seem delayed. A grateful heart, strengthened by faith, can endure trials with patience and joy. The dreamer guided by faith learns to carry peace within themselves, even when the outside world feels chaotic. This inner calm is not denial of hardship, but trust that there is a wisdom greater than what the dreamer can see. With peace in the heart, the dreamer can make clearer decisions, stand firm in challenges, and continue walking the path with steady steps instead of being shaken by every wind of uncertainty. Faith transforms the dream from something fragile into something enduring. It gives life to vision, strength to effort, and hope to every step. It teaches the dreamer that progress is not only measured by what is achieved, but by the trust and perseverance shown along the way. With faith, the journey itself becomes meaningful, and every step forward becomes an act of courage rooted in belief. Patience is the quiet strength that allows the dreamer to keep moving even when progress feels slow. It is the ability to hold steady, to resist the urge for instant results, and to understand that growth often happens beneath the surface before it shows outwardly. Patience prevents the dreamer from abandoning the journey too soon, reminding them that every meaningful pursuit takes time and that rushing the process can weaken the outcome. When the dreamer practices patience, they begin to see challenges not as interruptions, but as part of the journey itself. Each obstacle becomes a teacher, shaping their character and preparing them for what lies ahead. Without patience, difficulties can feel unbearable, but with it, the dreamer views them as necessary steps that strengthen resolve and deepen understanding. This shift in perspective transforms setbacks into opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Patience teaches the dreamer that consistency matters more than speed. Quick bursts of effort may bring momentary progress, but it is steady, disciplined action over time that builds lasting results. Patience fuels the commitment to return each day, to continue the work, even when the results are not immediately visible. It is this quiet persistence that creates breakthroughs, though they may come later than expected. Patience also nurtures humility. It reminds the dreamer that they are not in complete control of timing, that some outcomes unfold only when the moment is right. This recognition prevents arrogance and cultivates trust. Instead of forcing results, the dreamer learns to prepare diligently while allowing the unfolding of events to happen in their appointed time. Through patience, the dreamer finds calm in moments of waiting. Waiting no longer feels wasted, but becomes a season of preparation and reflection. It is in these pauses that clarity often emerges, guiding the dreamer to make wiser decisions and avoid reckless choices. Patience turns silence into an ally, showing that stillness can be just as powerful as action when embraced with the right spirit. Patience shields the dreamer from discouragement. There will always be moments when progress seems invisible, when efforts appear fruitless, and when others urge them to give up. But patience whispers that unseen change is still happening, that roots are growing even before branches appear. It steadies the heart in moments of doubt, reminding the dreamer that lasting rewards often require enduring seasons of hidden growth. Patience builds resilience by teaching the dreamer how to endure discomfort without giving in. Many quit not because the dream was impossible, but because they could not endure the wait. With patience, the dreamer strengthens their ability to withstand delays, failures, and detours without losing sight of the destination. Each delay becomes training, strengthening their ability to hold on when others let go. Patience also deepens gratitude. When the dreamer finally receives what they waited for, the joy is richer, the appreciation deeper, because it was not handed to them instantly. The effort, the waiting, the sacrifices all add weight to the reward, making it more valuable than if it had come easily. Patience turns achievement into something meaningful, not just something attained. Patience encourages the dreamer to focus on the process rather than rushing toward the outcome. This shift allows them to find fulfillment in the daily steps, the small victories, and the steady growth along the way. Instead of always chasing the finish line, they learn to value each moment of the journey, making the path itself worthwhile. Patience transforms the dreamer's character into one of steadiness and strength. It is not passive but active endurance, a determination that does not fade with time. It prepares the dreamer to face challenges with composure, to embrace growth without complaint, and to continue walking even when the road stretches longer than expected. Through patience, the dreamer gains not only the strength to reach their goal, but the wisdom to be ready when it finally arrives. Hope is the light that keeps the dreamer moving even when the path is dark and uncertain. It is the quiet voice that whispers there is something greater ahead, even when the evidence around them seems to say otherwise. Hope gives strength to weary steps and renews the will to continue the journey when doubts and fears try to weigh the dreamer down. It is not a weak or fragile thing, but a powerful force that fuels resilience and keeps the heart alive with vision. When the dreamer holds on to hope, setbacks no longer have the power to crush them completely. Failures may slow them, but they cannot erase the belief that tomorrow holds new possibilities. Hope keeps the dreamer from surrendering to despair, reminding them that no season of difficulty lasts forever, and that beyond every trial, there is potential for renewal and growth. It acts like a compass that always points forward, guiding the dreamer toward what is possible rather than trapping them in what has gone wrong. Hope changes the way the dreamer sees challenges. Instead of viewing obstacles as walls that block their path, hope allows them to see doors waiting to be opened. Even when solutions are not yet visible, hope creates the inner strength to keep searching, to keep trying, and to keep believing that a way will eventually appear. It shapes the mind to look beyond limitations and awakens creativity to find answers where others see only problems. Hope also feeds courage. The dreamer may still feel fear, uncertainty, or hesitation, but hope gives them enough strength to take the next step anyway. It does not eliminate the risk, but it gives the dreamer confidence that the journey is still worth pursuing. Hope transforms fear into fuel, making it possible to move forward in spite of trembling. Without hope, fear would dominate, but with it, the dreamer finds bravery in even the most fragile moments. Hope is contagious. When others see a dreamer holding on to hope in the face of difficulty, they too begin to feel encouraged. The dreamer's belief becomes a spark that ignites strength in those around them. Hope spreads like fire in the hearts of others, lifting communities, families, and companions to rise above discouragement and push forward together. In this way, hope does not just sustain one person, but becomes a gift that strengthens many. Hope gives meaning to waiting. Long delays and unanswered efforts can feel unbearable without it, but hope transforms the waiting period into a time of preparation and expectation. The dreamer no longer views waiting as wasted, but as an essential part of becoming ready for what lies ahead. This perspective softens impatience and fills the waiting with purpose, allowing the dreamer to endure with strength instead of frustration. Hope protects the dreamer from bitterness. Life's disappointments can harden the heart, making it easy to grow resentful or cynical. But hope keeps the heart soft, reminding the dreamer that even after a loss, there can still be restoration. It prevents the spirit from closing itself off to new opportunities and ensures that the dreamer remains open to the blessings that may still come. Hope keeps faith alive when negativity tries to take over. Hope turns small progress into powerful motivation. Even the tiniest victory, when seen through the eyes of hope, becomes a reason to celebrate and a reminder that the journey is still alive. Each step forward, no matter how small, is proof that the dream is still possible. This fuels the determination to continue, creating momentum where despair might have halted progress. Hope magnifies the value of progress and keeps the dreamer encouraged. Hope strengthens endurance in trials. The dreamer can withstand hardships, storms, and moments of uncertainty because hope convinces them that these are temporary, not permanent. With hope, the dreamer keeps moving through the storm rather than sitting in it. It is the unseen strength that pushes them to believe that better days are possible and that every struggle has within it the seed of a breakthrough. Hope makes the dreamer's vision shine brighter than their present reality. It keeps the eyes lifted toward what can be, even if the current moment is filled with struggle. Hope builds resilience by anchoring the dreamer's spirit to the belief that the story is not over yet, that the journey is still unfolding, and that a brighter chapter lies ahead. It is the fuel that keeps the dreamer walking forward with courage, no matter how heavy the road feels. Gratitude is the quiet strength that shapes the dreamer's heart and gives depth to the journey. It is the practice of noticing what is already present, even while striving toward what is yet to come. A dreamer who walks with gratitude carries peace within because they are not blinded by what they lack but lifted by what they have. Gratitude softens the weight of struggle by reminding the dreamer that even in the hardest moments, there is still something valuable to hold on to, something to be thankful for. When the dreamer practices gratitude, their vision of life becomes brighter. The smallest blessings, like the kindness of a friend, the beauty of a sunrise, or the lessons found in failure, become treasures instead of being overlooked. This ability to see value in ordinary things creates contentment in the heart, even while striving for greatness. It allows the dreamer to enjoy the journey instead of being consumed only by the destination. Gratitude also fuels patience. When the dream feels far away and progress seems slow, a grateful heart prevents bitterness from taking root. Instead of resenting the wait, gratitude turns the pause into appreciation for the present moment. It reminds the dreamer that every stage of the journey has something worth cherishing, and that rushing through it would mean missing the quiet gifts hidden along the way. Gratitude reshapes how challenges are viewed. Instead of seeing trials as unfair burdens, a grateful heart recognizes them as opportunities for growth. The difficulties become teachers, each one holding a lesson that strengthens resilience and deepens wisdom. With gratitude, the dreamer learns to say, "This may be hard, but it is preparing me for what lies ahead." Such a mindset turns even setbacks into building blocks for the dream. Gratitude keeps the dreamer humble. As progress is made and victories are achieved, it is easy for pride to creep in and for the dreamer to forget how far they have come. But gratitude roots the heart in remembrance, making the dreamer acknowledge that success is never built alone. Gratitude for the people, the guidance, and the moments of mercy along the way keeps the dreamer grounded and prevents arrogance from clouding their spirit. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. When the dreamer expresses thankfulness to those who walk beside them, it deepens bonds and creates a circle of trust and encouragement. Others feel valued and respected, and this support becomes a strong pillar for the dreamer. Gratitude turns companions into allies, building a community that uplifts each other rather than walking the journey alone. Gratitude brings peace in moments of comparison. In a world where it is easy to measure one's life against the successes of others, gratitude shields the dreamer from envy. By focusing on what they already have, the dreamer no longer feels lacking, but instead finds fulfillment in their unique path. Gratitude closes the door to jealousy and opens the way to self-acceptance and inner strength. Gratitude nurtures joy. Even in times of difficulty, gratitude finds light in simple things and keeps the heart from drowning in negativity. Joy becomes less about perfect circumstances and more about perspective. With a grateful heart, the dreamer can laugh, smile, and celebrate life even while carrying challenges, because they recognize blessings woven into every day. Gratitude sharpens awareness of progress. The dreamer may not yet be where they want to be, but gratitude reminds them of how far they have already come. Each step, no matter how small, becomes a reason to be thankful. This awareness prevents discouragement and fuels determination to keep going, knowing that the journey is not wasted but filled with growth at every stage. Gratitude creates resilience. When storms come and the dreamer feels overwhelmed, a grateful heart steadies them by shifting focus from what has been lost to what remains. Gratitude shines light in dark places and builds inner strength to endure hardship. It whispers to the dreamer that there is still goodness, still blessings, still reasons to rise again. Gratitude transforms the journey into one filled not only with striving, but also with peace, joy, and strength to continue forward. Discipline is the bridge that connects intention to action and transforms scattered effort into steady progress. It is not built in a single moment of inspiration, but in the consistent choices that shape daily life. A dreamer may feel motivated at the start, but without discipline, that motivation will eventually fade. Discipline is what remains when excitement is gone. It is the quiet strength that makes the dreamer rise early, keep promises, and push forward when the mind and body would rather rest. Discipline brings order to the dreamer's journey. When the path feels overwhelming with too many directions to follow, discipline provides structure. It organizes time, energy, and focus, ensuring that what matters most is given priority. A disciplined dreamer is not swayed by every distraction or temptation. They have trained themselves to stay aligned with their purpose, and this steadiness becomes a shield against wastefulness and delay. Discipline sharpens the ability to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term reward. The dreamer learns to delay gratification, understanding that ease today may cost them growth tomorrow. While others seek shortcuts, the disciplined one endures the harder road, knowing that every step strengthens character. This mindset builds patience and resilience, two qualities without which great goals cannot be reached. Discipline turns sacrifice into investment, and every choice becomes a seed for future harvest. Discipline also creates consistency, and consistency builds momentum. A dream pursued in scattered bursts quickly loses energy, but one nurtured with daily effort gains unstoppable force. The disciplined dreamer shows up whether they feel like it or not, and over time, their steady actions compound into extraordinary results. Just as a river carves stone not by force, but by persistence, discipline shapes a life through repeated, deliberate action. Discipline strengthens self-control. It teaches the dreamer to master their impulses instead of being mastered by them. Instead of being driven by mood, they act according to principle. This self-mastery extends beyond the dream itself, affecting how they handle relationships, emotions, and even challenges. A disciplined dreamer carries a sense of calm authority within themselves because they are not at the mercy of every whim or distraction. Discipline develops focus. The world is full of noise and countless paths, but discipline teaches the dreamer to concentrate their energy on what truly matters. With focus, small efforts achieve big outcomes because they are not wasted on scattered directions. This sharpness of attention allows the dreamer to see opportunities clearly, avoid detours, and move steadily forward while others lose themselves in confusion. Discipline is also a form of trust. It builds reliability within the dreamer's own heart. When they say they will act, they act. This self-trust strengthens confidence because they no longer doubt their ability to follow through. Each disciplined choice reinforces belief in themselves, and this belief radiates into every part of life. Others begin to trust them as well because discipline proves them dependable. Discipline becomes a source of freedom. While it may appear restrictive at first, discipline actually liberates the dreamer from chaos and regret. Instead of being chained by wasted time, lost opportunities, or unfulfilled promises, the disciplined dreamer enjoys the freedom of progress and peace of mind. Discipline does not imprison the dreamer. It clears the path so they can walk toward their purpose unhindered. Discipline strengthens endurance. Every journey will face storms, setbacks, and obstacles that test the dreamer's resolve. Motivation may weaken under such pressure, but discipline provides the fuel to keep moving. It whispers, "Keep going," when everything else says to stop. With discipline, the dreamer learns that victory does not always belong to the strongest or the fastest, but to the one who refuses to quit. Discipline molds identity. Over time, the disciplined dreamer becomes known not only for their goals, but for their character. Others see their steadiness, their reliability, and their strength, and this reputation opens doors that talent alone cannot. Discipline is not just about achieving a dream. It is about becoming the kind of person who can carry that dream with dignity. It builds a legacy, showing that greatness is not a moment of glory, but a life lived with purpose and control. Gratitude transforms the way a dreamer sees their journey because it shifts the heart from focusing on what is missing to cherishing what has already been given. When the dreamer pauses to acknowledge every blessing, every opportunity, and every step of progress, they begin to realize that the path itself is a gift. Gratitude makes the dream lighter to carry because it turns struggle into growth and hardship into lessons. The dreamer does not walk with the burden of complaints, but with the strength of appreciation. Gratitude creates contentment, and contentment gives peace to the heart even when the destination has not yet been reached. A dreamer who is ungrateful will always feel restless, constantly comparing themselves to others, always thinking they are behind. But a grateful dreamer finds joy in the process. They understand that every small step is worth celebrating, and this satisfaction keeps their spirit alive. Instead of chasing endlessly, they walk with balance, knowing that their worth is not measured by what they have, but by the purpose they serve. Gratitude opens the heart to patience. When challenges appear, the grateful dreamer remembers past victories and blessings that once seemed impossible. This remembrance calms their fear of failure because they know that just as they were carried through before, they can endure now. Gratitude gives them the strength to wait, to trust the timing of their growth, and to keep moving without frustration. It teaches them that delay does not mean denial, and that every stage of the journey has its own wisdom to offer. Gratitude strengthens relationships. A dream is never reached alone, and the people who support, guide, or even challenge the dreamer are part of its unfolding. By expressing thanks, whether through words, actions, or quiet appreciation, the dreamer deepens the bonds of trust with those around them. Gratitude turns strangers into allies and friends into companions on the path. It prevents pride from isolating the dreamer, reminding them that no achievement is truly theirs alone. Gratitude guards the heart against arrogance. Without it, success can inflate the ego and make the dreamer believe they achieved everything by their own hand. Gratitude keeps the heart humble, reminding the dreamer that every skill, every chance, and every bit of strength is a blessing. This humility allows them to continue learning, continue growing, and continue receiving guidance. A grateful dreamer does not look down on others, because they know that what they have was entrusted to them, not earned by pride. Gratitude fuels resilience. When the path becomes heavy, the grateful dreamer recalls not just what they still lack, but what they already carry. They remember that even in loss, there are blessings left, and even in hardship, there are moments of light. This perspective keeps them from falling into despair. Gratitude becomes their shield, protecting them from hopelessness, and their sword, giving them strength to keep going. It transforms obstacles into opportunities to give thanks for endurance. Gratitude brings clarity. When the dreamer is grateful, they see the value in every stage of the journey. Instead of rushing blindly toward the goal, they notice the beauty of the steps in between. Gratitude sharpens their awareness, making them mindful of lessons others overlook. It keeps them from becoming consumed by greed or envy, because they no longer measure their progress against another's path. They walk with focus, recognizing that their journey is unique and blessed in its own way. Gratitude nurtures generosity. A heart that is full of appreciation naturally wants to give. The grateful dreamer understands that blessings are not meant to be hoarded but shared. Their gratitude inspires acts of kindness, whether through encouragement, teaching, or offering help. This giving spirit enriches their journey because generosity multiplies what they have. The more they give, the more their heart expands, and the more beauty they experience in return. Gratitude builds perspective in times of success. When the dreamer achieves a milestone, gratitude prevents them from becoming careless or boastful. Instead, they acknowledge the journey that led them there, the people who supported them, and the lessons that shaped them. This reflection deepens the meaning of success, turning it from a fleeting victory into a lasting source of strength. Gratitude ensures that success does not become a distraction, but a stepping stone toward greater purpose. Gratitude illuminates the journey itself. It allows the dreamer to see that even when they stumble, even when they feel lost, there is always something to be thankful for. This constant light keeps them moving forward, not because the path is always easy, but because the heart is always full. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones because every breath, every chance, and every step is recognized as a blessing. It is the attitude that turns the dream into not just a destination to reach, but a way of living with peace and joy at every stage. The journey of a dream is never just about reaching the final destination. It is about the transformation that happens within the dreamer along the way. Every trial, every delay, every victory, and every setback is like a brushstroke, painting the character of the one who dares to walk toward their purpose. The true treasure is not found in what the dreamer holds in their hands at the end, but in who they have become by refusing to give up. A heart that was once uncertain learns courage, a voice that was once silent learns confidence, and a soul that once questioned its worth learns strength. When a dreamer continues forward despite difficulty, they discover that the journey is shaping them far more than they ever imagined. What seemed like obstacles at first reveal themselves as teachers, carving out patience, humility, and resilience. The dreamer learns that the rough roads were not punishments, but blessings in disguise, molding them into someone capable of carrying greater responsibility. Each stumble and recovery becomes a lesson in endurance, showing the dreamer that strength is not built in comfort but in struggle. The dreamer's perspective shifts with every step taken. At the beginning, they may have been focused on the reward alone, but as they walk further, they begin to notice the changes within themselves. The fears that once held them back no longer feel as heavy. The doubts that once silenced them begin to fade as new confidence emerges. The journey teaches that while the dream is important, it is the inner growth that gives lasting value. Without the transformation, the dream would be empty, but with it, the dreamer gains both purpose and depth. The process also nurtures wisdom. With each experience, the dreamer learns how to navigate the world more carefully and with more understanding. They learn to listen before acting, to think before deciding, and to seek guidance before moving forward. These qualities do not come quickly, but they are built over time through trials. Wisdom becomes the hidden gift of the journey, a treasure that cannot be taken away. It stays with the dreamer long after the dream has been fulfilled. The journey teaches the dreamer the power of consistency. Repetition, dedication, and persistence become natural habits, shaping not just the way they chase dreams, but the way they live daily life. This consistency strengthens the dreamer in all areas, helping them approach work, relationships, and challenges with the same steady resolve. The journey becomes training for life itself, preparing them for tests that extend beyond their dream. The dreamer also learns compassion along the way. As they face challenges themselves, they begin to understand the struggles of others more deeply. Hardship softens their heart, making them kinder and more empathetic. They no longer judge others harshly because they know the weight of difficulty. This compassion becomes part of their transformation, allowing them to lift others even while they continue their own climb. Through the process, the dreamer learns discipline. Without it, the dream would have faded long ago. Discipline is the foundation that allows growth to continue even when motivation weakens. It trains the dreamer to act not according to mood, but according to purpose. Over time, this discipline becomes a natural part of their character, shaping their actions in every aspect of life. It is a strength that remains with them forever. Faith also deepens through the journey. When the dreamer faces challenges that seem impossible, they are reminded that outcomes are not in their control, but in the hands of the one who created them. This realization calms the restless heart, giving trust in the unseen and patience in the unknown. Faith teaches the dreamer that while they must put forth effort, they must also rely on guidance and trust the timing of every step. The journey instills humility. The dreamer learns that growth is not about rising above others, but about rising within themselves. Every lesson reminds them of their dependence on blessings greater than their own effort. This humility prevents arrogance and keeps the dreamer grounded, even as they achieve milestones. It reminds them that the true measure of success is not how high they climb, but how much good they carry with them as they rise. By the end of the path, the dreamer has become more than they were at the beginning. The journey has reshaped their mind, strengthened their spirit, and refined their character. What began as a small spark inside their heart has grown into a flame that lights their steps and inspires those who watch them walk. The transformation is the true reward because it is not temporary but lasting, not fragile but enduring, not shallow but deeply rooted in who they are now.